Imagine going from living a life that had the fleeting glimpses of happiness to having this juicy, amazing, rich life full of that deep inner sense of joy, fulfillment, sense of purpose. How many want that? I do, and I'm always striving for that. Welcome, guys. This is Robert joining you from Granbury, Texas right now. And yes, I didn't forget to shave. I actually chose not to shave because it's part of my tradition and ritual, if you will, for all the men to grow a beard. I have my family hunting trip coming up. So yes, that's why I'm not looking so clean this morning. So I want to welcome you guys. And, hey, Donna, hey, Shane. So part of my intention with these Facebook Lives is always to share things that are helping me grow as a person, as a business leader, as a communicator, as a mentor, as a husband. So let me just get right to it. So I'm going to share three key insights here from one of my recent books that I'm been learning from, and it's called The Second Mountain. And in this context, the second mountain is in reference to a deeper sense of fulfillment. Maybe we started on a certain career path and we shifted into our second literal mountain, our second career path, which became because we were doing what others expected us to do versus what made our hearts sing, what brought us fulfillment, happiness, much less joy. So that's the context. And I'll be sharing several Facebook Lives over the next week or so on this particular topic. So my first key is this. The first key to going from that often enough roller coaster, sometimes the pursuit of happiness, to, that was an awesome movie, by the way, to that deeper sense of fulfillment and joy is this. And we've all heard it before, but I want to put it in a new context, all right? So it's commit. It's commit to others. Look outside of ourself. And let me share with you a quote from Helen Keller. By the way, she was a profound example of what it means to serve other people and to find a deep sense of purpose and joy. So she said, there is joy in self-forgetfulness. So I strive to make the light in others' eyes my sun, the music in other people's ears my symphony, the smile on others' lips my happiness. And here's the other quote or thought that goes along with that. Happiness, this is profound here. Joy tends to be kind of transcending, if you will, that next level of living. And so happiness is something that we pursue. There's always the pursuit of versus just embracing and saying it's here already. where joy, that next level of joy, is something that rises up and sweeps over us. Wow. So in this context, the thought, just to help us kind of shake outside of our box sometimes, it was mindful for me too, because I'm always looking for that. How do I motivate? And many of you know I have a large organization. How do I motivate my leaders when I'm mentoring? How do I uplift more and affirm my grandkids? So there's all kinds of context there, and it's striving to see that light turn on in other people's eyes and uplifting them. So permanent joy seems to emerge when desire is turned toward others. And the author of this book, it's not one of my more faith-based authors. So some of these contexts and thoughts, I just add that context because all of you know who've listened to any of my videos know our belief. But that's where that comes from and originates, is that deeper, long-lasting faith. So we have to lose ourselves to find ourselves, give ourselves a way to get everything back. And what it boils down to, it's my belief that's why we were created, is the only way to find that true lasting joy is where in service and to other people in some shape or fashion. And here's an awesome thought. And here's where it leads to. Other day, somebody asked the question. It was a documentary on a horrible criminal who was actually a serial murderer. And the question was, how on earth did this person ever get to that point? And the psychologist he was interviewing said it was a series of steps. He didn't just walk out the door and step into that horrible place. So if we do a series of good, and the same with the people that have impacted people on a high, amazing level, if we do a series of good deeds, the habit of other-centeredness becomes gradually engraved into our being. So it's the act of doing the seemingly small things in service, selfless actions, okay, that gradually becomes who we are. I did a video on this it was about, I did a series of like 4 or 5 little Facebook Lives years ago on courage, because often enough, there's so much self-doubt and questioning our ability, questioning our power to make a difference, that we look at people that are courageous and we said, I can never be there. They must have been born that way. When in reality, like Nelson Mandela is one of the most courageous people that I know. He's one of he's in my secret circle of my mentors that I turn to. And in his autobiography, which I read a number of years ago, he talked about, I wore this facade. I acted like I was a courageous person and I kept doing it. And over time, this facade simply became me, who I am. So the same holds true to, as we do the actions more and more, we step into the happiness, we step into that permanent joy, and acknowledging our Creator as well. And the opposite holds true. The small things that we do on the darker side, if we lie, behave callously or cruelly toward others, then our personality degrades, and that's who we become. So point number 1 is commit to that service of others. And I'll just quickly go into point number 2 and 3. And this is such powerful material, guys. So point number 2 is realize that one of our deeper areas of fulfillment and the sense of purpose, that we'll never have that fulfillment purpose unless this is acted on. And it's embrace the need that we all have to care and connect. On the surface, here's the main premise of this whole book. On the surface of our lives, most of us build the hard shell, this hard shell psychologically around us. It is built to cover fear and insecurity and win approval and success of other people. Thanks for the heart. I'm not sure where that came from, but I appreciate it. So on the surface, all of us build this psychological armor, which doesn't do us any good. Yes, it protects us some, but then again, we have to acknowledge it's there and work on putting it down most of the time. On the surface of our lives, most of us build this hard shell. It is built to cover, again, fear and insecurity and win approval and success of others. Remember, we're only looking for the approval of one person. When we get down to the core of ourself, we find a more wild, primeval, timeless place. And in it, which it's my belief that God put it there, it's in it is a deep yearning to care and connect. Okay, so point number 2, as far as this key to go from that fleeting roller coaster of happiness to this lifelong permanent sense of joy, all right, is to embrace and act on, those small things over time. It's who we are, who we become, or the opposite's true, and realize in doing these actions that that's the only true way, along with our worship and who we are. Okay. To find this sense of happiness is to realize that until we fulfill this deep yearning that's been put in our soul to care for others and connect in community, family, relationship, hopefully you have a strong community that's positive and supportive in your business. I know we do with our team and our culture at large. Many of you do. If you don't, then you can start to create that in one person at a time. But that's a key component. So key number 2 is realize that's there. And if we do not act on caring for others outside of ourselves and building a community that reflects our values and morals, etc., we will never find true that deep sense of fulfillment. All right, and that's found in our spiritual communities, our business communities, life, family, all the above, and that's a key. So, in point number 3, the last one I'm going to share with you this morning, this is a timeless one, and it's kind of a fun one. Joy and I, many of you know, we're big movie buffs, and one thing about our heart and soul, if you will, is look at all your favorite movies. Behind all the plot lines, all the most successful, impactful movies that have been produced, it's this. Almost every movie we've ever seen is about somebody experiencing this intense sense of merging, becoming selfless, part of a community, with something, giving themselves to a cause, a mission, a family, a nation, or a loved one. If I look at all my most impactful movies, my favorite movie of all time is called Bicentennial Man. Okay, Bicentennial Man. It's Robin Williams stars in it, and it's about a robot who are, in this case, an android. His name is Andrew, and the whole premise is as this robot has this unique ability to think and to process thought, which leads to emotions, which leads to how he acts in life, obviously. And so as he goes through this process of learning and maturing, because he's like adult-sized android initially, but he has the mindset of a child. So as he develops and reads and absorbs and learns the concept of freedom, and eventually learns the concept of what it actually means, what is the essence of being human. And then he goes in search of the community. Remember, he already cares. He's fulfilling that sense of joy. And now he wants to connect. This sounds familiar. So he goes in search of the whole planet to find any other android who had woken up, and he couldn't find one. So then he comes back full circle and meets a gentleman who has the ability to create these organic parts of the body. And bit by bit, he becomes more and more and more and more human. And when he goes to declare his humanity and be recognized as such, they say there's no way because you are immortal. So in essence, he goes back to the gentleman who made all the different, his body organic, and said, I cannot be immortal. Please make me where I will degenerate in 10, 20, 30 years, and I'll pass on. And he did. And then when he went back to the Supreme Court, it's a fictional story, but they said, okay, we will grant you your humanity because now you're a human, so you will live and you will die. And the premise of the story, though, is that it's number one, he had a deep cause to be recognized for who and what he was. So I think the moral of the story, and at least in this share with you, from the beginning of this book that I'm reading, is we'll find fleeting glimpses of true happiness if we live a life where we're more inwardly looking to ourselves. Only when we turn it around and find ways in our businesses, in our job, with our family, with our whatever recreation we do, and how we live life, how we even go to the grocery store, how we interact with anybody, the next waiter, the waits on your table, the next housekeeper that you meet, whatever it is, if you have yard work done, how you treat that person. So what it boils down to, it's the only real way to step from fleeting happiness to joy, obviously above and beyond our spiritual walk, which is the essence of it. Is to, and that's why we're created, I believe, to serve other people. That's the key. So just commit to others and realize that's the true key and way to live life, to find the permanent joy. And realize, embrace the fact that until we go out of our way and bit by bit make it who we are, to truly care and truly serve and to be part of something bigger than ourselves, a cause, a mission, a community, a family, spiritual and physical family. So all the above. And number 3, realize that man has written about this. All of our favorite movies, it's an age-old, timeless story of time after time after time. All the stories as well, and the characters in the good book from all the different movies and all the books we read. That's the only true way to find permanent joy, is to look toward others and care. And let me go back to Helen Keller once again, because I love this. Helen Keller, there is joy in self-forgetfulness. So I try to make the light in others' eyes my sun, the music in others' ears my symphony, and the smile on others' lips my happiness. Wow, I just love that. So I hope this blesses you guys. And just in many cases, so much of all this is just simply a reminder. I don't know about you, but I need to be reminded of why we're created here, why God made us. It's to truly serve. And until we step into that place, again, we will always be searching for that deeper sense of purpose. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys this morning. If it resonates with you, and please comment below. Questions, comments. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna dive into this further and share other thoughts with you as well. And just want to wish you guys an awesome day. And just a reminder, that's where that permanent joy is. Everything else is fleeting. So take care. Bye-bye.